Hello, this is Dr. Kankipati from Venkwadri College, working as Associate Professor of Commerce. Now, I would like to explain on the title Statistics, an introductory part of the statistics by sharing the screen. Just be hold on the line, everybody. I'll share the PPT so that you can view it and understand it in a better way. Now, my dear students, introductions to statistics. The learning objectives of this lesson are that conceptualization of statistics, origin, growth of statistics, definition, composition of statistics, objectives of statistics, statistical inference, scope of statistics, a science of statehood applications, and last, limitations of statistics. Now, come to the first slide. Statistics is a subject that it practice a science of collecting and analyzing numerical data in large quantities, especially for the purpose of inferring proportions in a whole form, those in a representative sample. In the sense, the collection of data, analyzing the data, numerical data, once a collection is over, that has to be analyzed. It has to be subgrouped and analyzed. And then the inferences, the conclusions has to take out. And those inferences, conclusions are helpful for policy making, for implementation. This is at a glance the statistics that it works. So now today the statistics is recognized with the ICT in all disciplines. It's not that ICT in statistics, and ICT is associated with other subjects, so many areas. There's no area, it is not a exaggeration that if I say it's not, there is no area without statistics, without ICT today. So even in statistics also ICT applications, information communication technology tools are playing a vital role. The purpose of that is to find out the accuracy. Accuracy is very important. Once the data is collected, the data has to be segregated into subgroups, and the data, once it is segregated in various smaller groups, and that has to be tested on a particular problem. If you collect the data, that problem has to be tested with the appropriate tools of the statistics, and finally that has to be analyzed, and finally we have to come to conclusions. So those conclusions, as I told you just now, will be helpful for making decisions for policy implications. This is all about. Now, next you have origin of the statistics. It is concerned with the systematic collection of numerical data and its interpretations. In fact, statistics, statistical, both are same, derived from Latin word which is called status. And that status leads to political state. Next, definition. When you come to the definition part, the statistics has been defined into two different ways: statistical data and statistical methods. The data is very important. First, if you have the data, you can apply the methods. By the data collection also will be done on the basis of different methods. So you are supposed to, as an investigator of a problem, you need to adopt a particular method for collection of data. Accordingly, you have to collect the data, and after that the process starts. Grouping, summarization, analyzing, interpretations, drawing conclusions, these are all will, one by one, step by step, it will take place. So keeping in all these things, when you go to the definition part, A.L. Bole, who has given the definition that statistics are numerical statement of facts in any department of inquiry placed in relation to each other. He says that, according to Bole, he says that the statistics is confined only to the collection of data. That's what he said. It is confined only to the collection of data. But according to another scientist, Croxton Cowden, he says that statistics may be defined as the science of collection, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data from the logical analysis. According to him, it's not that only collection of data. The data collection, after collection of the data, is one of the elements in the statistics. There are other areas also, according to him. What are those? After collection, you need to subgroup it, you need to analyze it, interpret it, test it, analyze it, interpret it, and then how to draw the conclusions for policy, for making policy decisions. So that is according to him. So this idea gives the most scientific and a realistic meaning. Next, you have the next slide. If you come to here, composition of the statistics. What do you mean this composition of statistics means? As I told in the previous slides, it is associated with collecting, organizing, summarizing, presenting, analyzing, deriving valid conclusions, and making reasonable decisions on numerical facts and existing data. This is what we have discussed in the previous slides. These are all elements. You cannot imagine the statistics without without any of these components. These are all put together only statistics. Now, if you come to the next continuation to this, objectives of statistics, statistical inferences. The objectives, there are major objectives when we look at it. Estimation theory, tests of hypothesis. So the first one is test estimation theory, the unknown value of the population parameter based on the sample observations. Suppose I'll give you one example to substantiate the above statement. Suppose we are given a sample of heights of 100 students in a school, based upon the heights of these 100 students, it is possible to estimate the average height of all the students in the school. In the sense you can understand, statistics is all about aggregates and averages. Do not talk about one individual, one unit. It talks about aggregates and the averages. That's what we have to understand from the above statements. The next point is objective test of hypothesis. What do you mean by this hypothesis? Hypothesis is an imaginary information, having an opinion, imaginary opinion that we have on a particular aspect, on a particular problem, on a particular activity. But we don't know about it. We have certain imaginations based on the nature, the environment, group of people. We have that opinion that we have, but we don't know whether it is correct or wrong. But to our knowledge, we thought like that, a certain imagination, a particular problem that we framed in our mind. But we should know whether it is correct or wrong. It should be tested. So, statistical hypothesis is a statement of the probability of distribution. It happens, it may happen, it may not happen. Whether that problem, whether that statement of imagination in your mind, hypothesis, it may be correct, it may not be correct. It's only your imagination. So when you will come to know, if you conduct a study and analyze the data, summarize it, test it, then you will get to know what is exactly focused. So according to that is hypothesis may be significant, may not be significant. It may be correct or may not be correct. That it happens. Now next, you have non-parametric tests. Here it is a combination, this non-parametric tests objective is that it is a combination of descriptive statistics and statistical inference. So put together, summarize and describe the data, whereas statistical inferences drawing conclusion the data, drawing conclusions from the data. So that means you can understand summarize of data, summarizing and describing the data, and drawing out of it the conclusions. These two parts are associated with descriptive statistics and statistical inference. Next, you have sequential analysis. The sample size is not fixed in advance. Instead, data are evaluated as they are collected and further sampling is stopped. In the sense, you cannot fix the sample before going for data collection. So that is why you need to, when you are going for data collection, you have in your mind, say for example, 300 sample you need to collect. So how do you go? You have to go along with a structured questionnaire and all that. So if you go to the targeted people with a questionnaire, sometimes those questions, some of the questions may be suitable to them or may not be suitable for them. So when you interact with them, you will come to know what are the irrelevant questions, what are the relevant questions. So you need to delete it, some of the irrelevant questions, and then modify it. And then you have to distribute, administer the questionnaire, and then get the information, which is called data. So that is fixed. You cannot, the point is here, advancedly you cannot fix it. On the basis of total population, getting the information from the total population, how many population, how many sample you require on that basis. Finally, you have to fix the sample and all that. Next, come to the another one, the scope of statistics. a science of statehood and applications. As I told you in the previous slides, agriculture, it's not confined to only one particular domain or area. It is, the scope is very widened, the statistics scope. You can say it is associated with agriculture, economics, commerce, agriculture production for the last 4 or 5 years. You need to take the help of statistics. Economics, industrial production for the last 4 or 5 years. Otherwise, service sector, the outcome from the service sector, industrial sector, agriculture sector, the total GDP if you want to calculate. For that, you require the help of the statistics. Commerce, also very important in that. Transport of goods, distribution of goods from one place to another place, the trends in different periods, you need to calculate it with the help of statistical, appropriate statistical tools and all that. Biology, medicine, industry, planning, these are all very, very important. In every area, statistics playing a vital role in education also. Even in our individual life also. Unknowingly, knowingly, we are also daily following the statistics. We don't know that we are following because we'll not concentrate whether it is following according to the statistics, but we follow it unknowingly. So that is another important aspect that we can take. Next, you have limitations of statistics. The limitations of statistics under that, the matter of fact, qualitative phenomena, as a matter of fact, qualitative phenomenon like honesty, poverty, intelligence, etc., cannot be expressed numerically. And any statistical analysis cannot be directly applied on these qualitative phenomena. We cannot measure the honesty of a person. We cannot measure the intelligence of a person. These are all intangible. Physically, you cannot see it. Goodwill of a company. Of course, we can measure to some extent, but the intelligence, beauty, poverty, and the honesty of a person, it cannot be, which cannot be seen with our naked eyes. So that is why these are all qualitative phenomenon. For this, statistics cannot be directly applied on this qualitative phenomena. Next, statistics does not study individuals. As I told you, aggregates, it focuses on aggregates and averages. It's not one unit or one individual that it will not focus. Similarly, you have statistical laws are not exact. It's not 100% accuracy, even statistics also cannot give the 100% accuracy. There are certain deviations will be there because this large, huge amount of population or data when you take, some deviations definitely will be there, but deviations should not be generally plus or minus 5 to 10%. If it is more than that, then there is no credibility and we cannot, error depends upon the error. If more error is occurred, then the data credibility will lost. So the data has not collected and it's not grouped properly. Some problem has occurred, went inside wrong. Like that we can conclude. So that is why directly applied, the statistics does not apply to individuals. That's over. Next, statistics are not exact. Statistical laws are only approximation. Cannot give 100% appropriateness. Assurance cannot be given as such. So it's only majority portion says that to the maximum possible extent, the accuracies can be ensured. Statistical conclusions are not universally true because it will not give 100, since it will not give 100% trueness or truth. That is the reason it is not universally, it will not be true. Conclusions are not universally true. They are true only on an average. On average basis, you can take it, it's better tool for giving explanation and all that. Next, we have continuation to that previous one. Statistics table may be misused. It is one of the limitation disadvantage that if a person, whoever is analyzing the data, if he doesn't know about how to apply the tools, how to analyze the data with the appropriate tools, if he doesn't know that, say for example, then what happens? Wrong analysis, wrong observations, wrong analysis, and interpretations also will be wrong, and finally inferences, conclusions also will be wrong. Because of that, what happens? The decisions that will impact and the policy implications or decisions, whatever they take, implement, that will become wrong, and finally it will be wrong. It will become wrong. Now, statistics only one of the methods of studying problem. It's not that only statistics is the method to study the problems. It is one of the methods. Statistical method do not provide complete solution of the problems. It will not give complete solution of the problem. It can only give the majority portion, because to the maximum possible extent, the solution will be given. It is only an evidence. It is only a supportive. Statistical conclusions are only supportive to the evidences. Next, you have the problems are to be studied taking the background. Another important limitation is it's not that the statistics conclusions or inferences should not be made on the basis of a country's environment, a country's religion, or a country's philosophy and all that. These are not the components to measure the problem of a particular country or development of a particular country. The grassroots of the data has to be collected. The factual data speaks about the originalities of, or the characteristics of, or the solutions of the problems that are taken into account. Next, you have statistical studies supplemented. That's what I told. It is only an evidence. It gives an evidence. Statistics supplementary. It is a supplementary to the evidences, so that more evidences will be more strengthened. To that extent, statistics helps. That's what. Next, you have. So now, let us. This is about a brief, just idea that I have given. In the next classes, we'll see the practicalities of those are involved in the statistics, step by step, and we'll take some problematic issues also, and we'll discuss about it in depth. Now for today, that's it, and have a good day. Thank you very much. Thank you all.